The word CUMBI comes from the Quechua language, which was the language spoken in the Inca Empire. And CUMBI was the term for the very finest tapestry woven textiles produced in the Inca Empire. It's a term that invites us to think about how textiles are part of societies. The works of art in CUMBI represent some of the real artistic highlights of culture from the ancient Andes in the museum's collection. We have textiles that are woven with techniques that are best expressed in ancient Peru. It's said that Andean weavers developed techniques that are unknown anywhere else in the world. There's a textile in the exhibition that was woven on the north coast of Peru around 1,000 years ago. And it's a textile that shows many images of felines. They almost look like they're processing with their paws up. It's a piece that was really expertly woven. There are 5 different panels that make up the textile. Artist or artists who were involved in the making of this work joined them together really beautifully so that a tale that begins on one panel continues over onto the next. The pieces that you're seeing here are the borders of a textile that no longer exists. And they're these wonderful borders that show us all kinds of animal and plant life, almost sprouting along the edges. Cloth shapes the social world in a number of ways. There are textiles here that tell us about gender identities, about social status, about ethnic identities, and that would have been markers for their wearers in ancient cultures. There are also ways in which cloth today can be used to think about changing society and shaping society. Contemporary artists are showing us that cloth can be a viable medium for making social critique. We have artists who are using textiles to think about stories of how resources get used. We have artists who are thinking about how cloth tells us about stories of the movement of peoples and ideas across the world. We have works that are helping us to think about how cloth can help us to see inequality. All of these are issues that artists are looking to address with their woven works. These works by Carolina Aranibar Fernandez are images of places across the globe. And what the artist does is she takes appliques of a kind sourced by Bolivian indigenous women weavers and cuts them into these kind of cartographies, and then printed over them, there are images of the kind of topographical visualization of regions affected by mining. So we have a work in the exhibition by the artist Carolyn Castaño, who's based out of Los Angeles. And she makes these wonderful images that combine traditional Andean textile images, like the checkerboard at the bottom of this work, with images of the Andean landscape. She's really interested in how landscapes are illustrated and how the kind of vibrant ecological life of the Andes is depicted in artworks. In this exhibition, we have work by Perla Segovia, who's a Tucson-based artist, a Peruvian-American artist, and she has used the material of water-soluble threads to tell the story of migrant children and their journey to the US, and to kind of create a memory for their stories with her work. So there is kind of a local tie to an issue that we know is important in the life of the Southwest in her work. When you're creating an exhibition, one of the things, especially for an exhibition like this one, that can be both the challenges but also the opportunities, right, is that each piece has its own story. but you're bringing them together in a way where you're trying to create a bigger story from their collectivity, right? There are over 70 works of art in CUMBI, some very old, some created just in the past couple of years. And you're trying to think about what ways can I put these together, have them speak to each other, that creates a bigger dialogue about a tradition, about a medium, across their kind of collectivity.